If anybody asks you where I am going, where I am going, so greater, greater light. Nothing but the righteous shout. See, God gotta live. Ooh, you gotta live right. Get right, church, and let's go.
I'm going home. God is on the way. I'm going home. God is on the way. I'm going home. I'm going home. I'm going home. God is on the way. You better get right. Get right, church, and let's go home. Get right, church, and let's go home. Get right, church. Get right, church. Get right, church, and let's go home. Stoic behaviors, forward reverse, chemistry savior, unique verse, Archimedes, of the covenant, angels, angel of non-compete covenants, archaic cave wars, dogma, golf course, Z and Zion, my God, horrors, my God, next to us, my God, now God do it. Oh, you accuse, one wants an iron door, you accuse, one wants to buy and clone. I wanna be ready, I got to be ready. Get right, church, and let's go home. You better get right. He's coming, he's coming,
He's coming, he's coming,
he's
he's coming, he's coming.
He's coming, let's go home.
Nothing but the righteous shall see. God gotta live, fully gotta live right. If you wanna meet Jesus in the aisle, get right, church, and let's go home.
I'm going home. God is on the
God
way.
is on the way.
I'm going home. God is on the way. I'm going home. Stoic behaviors, forward reverse, chemistry saviors, unique verse, Archimedes, Ark of the Covenant, angels, angel of non-compete covenants, archaic cave wars, dogma, golf course, Z and Zion, my God, horrors, my God, next to us, my God, now God do it. Oh, you accuse, one wants an iron door, you accuse, one wants to buy a clone. Wanna be ready? I got to be ready. Be right, church, and let's go home. You better get right. God wants an iron door, let's go. Let's go, let's go home. He's coming, he's coming, he's coming, he's coming, let's go. He's coming, he's coming, he's coming, he's coming, he's coming, let's go. I'm going home. I've got the righteous, I gotta live. Holy, gotta live right. If you wanna meet Jesus in the aisle, get right, church, and let's go home, home. Let's go home, let's go home. Let's go home, let's go home. Oh, you accuse, one wants an iron door, you accuse, one wants to buy a clone. Wanna be ready? I got to be ready. Be right, church, and let's go home. You better get right. God wants an iron door,
If you want to meet Jesus in the air, get right, church, and let's go home. Huh? Greater light, greater light. Let me get this party started off right. Let me get this party started quickly, right? My mind is God's mind. I'm always reflecting divine wisdom and divine intelligence. My brain symbolizes the capacity to think wisely and spiritually. God's ideas unfold within my mind, and I mean perfect sequence. Huh? The sequences that they are trying to unsequence and sequentiate and all that they're trying to do with rewriting over blood codes and IDs and all that. Oh, no, no. God has the perfect sequence for my needs. Huh? The perfect sequence. My mind, unfolds in perfect sequence, keeping me poised, balanced, serene, and calm. Anytime it seemed like I'm going to rise to a point of um, acting like I can't sleep during the storm, huh? Acting like 438, huh? Mark 438. Anytime I get to the point where I'm not sound asleep during the storm, there's a problem. But God provided a perfect solution in that salt water. For every single one of my needs, the perfect solution. I'm always poised, balanced, serene, and calm because He has provided the perfect solution for every single one of my needs. You say amen. I say, God, you promise. You can say Selah. You can say whatever it is that makes you a witness to whatever God has done for you, gonna do for you, will do for you. Some of you don't have nothing to say about God. You don't even believe in God. And that's fine. Everybody has a choice to make. But I say God is keeping His promises, huh? And you can see it with your own eyes. It don't matter if you can't see it right now, because the thing about it is the promises that He made to me, every eye is going to see. Every tongue is going to confess. Every knee is going to bow. Every. Don't worry if you cripple, you'll be able to bow your knees, huh? You'll be able to bow. Every time I've said this before, year after year, and for some reason, year after year, when I get to this point, it'll be all type of situations simulations they try to create to get me to be quiet, and I'll eventually be quiet. I'll be quiet for a while, wait till things subside. Ain't nothing. I said this when I started on this journey, when I went into the wilderness last year. I meant exactly what I said. Nothing. And I'm glad to see that there's beings out there still will reject what Biden them and the government is doing because they know better, huh? They know better. They were all kind of simulations, huh? I said y'all better not mess with my grandma. Y'all see what happened with my bloodline. It's not just privy to my bloodline. It's a bunch of bloodlines out there have the same when they transition and go. Earthquakes happened or rain happened and storms and all that type of stuff. I said what I said the other day. Now they want to have grandma and mama laid up. They always come with that simulation every time. Oh, everybody hearts failing them and they ended up in the hospital and stuff. They blood cannot save me. Huh? No, literally on this flesh and plane. And we are all held accountable on our own accord for our own individual lives and what we have gone through, been through, and all that. I existed before my mama's womb, so what you think I think and feel? If it's time for you to go, congratulations. Huh? You made it. Huh? It's a celebration. It's a celebration because God is on the way. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna show you in the holy tablets. I'm gonna show you in the holy tablets. Uh, God is on the way. No one can predict the time and dates and all that, but they can come close enough. They can come close enough if God gave and sent messages of warnings, warning signs. So he said God sent messengers. Messengers comes to awaken and warn, to heal, and all that good stuff. I'm gonna read where you're supposed to be celebrating if your body this time, according to Revelations, if you get so you don't have to deal with the tribulation of the stuff that's about to go down. Every day I'm still wheezing, over a cold, still wheezing. The lumps in my breast getting bigger and bigger. You think I'm going to let them experiment on me and try to have me here long, injecting me with stuff I don't know what they injecting me with? When the Federal Register telling you what they doing? Huh? They want you to be staying here to make plans to invest and have land, knowing that this land for to be cleansed, God gonna cleanse it right on out. Whew, you got plans for this, huh? Have fun, huh? I got some news. I like to go over the news and stuff every now and then too. And that's gonna be the first thing I read. How about all them people that they commuting? If that's the word they want to use. That sounds like trafficking to me. Because I looked at some of the criminals that Biden, and I'm like, wait, the person was locked up and committed crimes while they was locked up. Some of the most violent criminals. I'm like, wait a minute, what is this about? I told you he creating an army. I did a short. I showed y'all. I've been telling you and calling it for how many years? You could go back on some of my lives right around Super Bowl time 2 or 3 years ago, and I have the title of what he called himself out loud for the world to hear. Said that he's as well. They don't say Azazel. He says as well. He said who he was. Now he to the point he can't even hide it. He know. He can't even hide it. But there's two beings that say we don't want what you offering. I know I'm on there. I know I'm supposed to get the electric chair, and I didn't ask you to be commuted. Why you commute me? I didn't even ask for that. One man say, I know I'm innocent, and I'm not gonna let you give me. I don't know what your plans is, but I don't want what you got to offer, Which one of y'all will do that today? I remember I said this, and you could go back if you got the time and retract and find the live where I said it. They can come offering a pyramid of gold. I'm good. Too late now, I don't need you to clear nothing that's already been cleared. God cleared my name before the situation even happened. Nothing. That's why they mad. That's why I don't need nobody. When my mama was talking about get TD Jakes to write your right what? And look at what happened. He'll write a story or tell a movie about I remember when I had that frame of mind, huh? About to travel to Oprah and all, huh? But that's besides the point. It's been right now supposed to go to the electric chair. Two of them that say, I'm sorry, we don't want your Azazel, Balak Biden, uh, sons of Satan, daughters of Lilith. we don't want what you got to offer, raising up the devil from the bottomless pit in the hollow earth. We don't want it. How many of you would be able to do that right now? Some people right now so invested in what the handouts that the Antichrist in them got in store for them. They said, we will accept the mark. We don't care. Huh? We gonna get it and run with it, huh? Because it's about the money. It's about all that man has made. Man made the dollar. Man made the gold look appealing. Man made lead and coal, diamonds, the hardest rock, one of the hardest elements. They made it as if it is worth more than gold. And they traded amongst each other. They told you what the worth is. They told you what the worth is. Those same elements run through your blood, but more than that, those same elements run through your light code. Your light code that existed, that helped create these the pus of the earth, the gold, and the bone of the earth, the diamond. I can't wait to get to this, to the holy tablets. I could get there right now, but I came back to finish talking about some geofencing, huh? You gonna get fenced in. The name of the spirit, the guardian. It's called the guardian of the spirits. You could go Google it, type it in, guardian of the spirits. They gonna make sure you get locked in. You can't escape once they purchase you. Once you make the wrong choice, huh? Put all your faith in men and man in these last and final days. Believe in everything they say. We checked your blood and your heart ain't right. You need to stay right here. We gonna have every FBI agent, police force right here surrounding the hospital. Because ain't no way in the world. It's time for me to go. It's gonna be time for me to go naturally. Because God, Jesus, it's the healing these days, these last days, because there's a statement that Peter makes about your body deteriorating in these last days because God is coming soon. Remember, every book of the Bible, every scripture is prophetic. Every single scripture from Genesis to Revelation is prophetic. You don't believe me, though? You don't believe me? Well, why not? Why not? They spoke about Jesus in Old Testament, and Jesus reminded them that they spoke about him in Old Testament, and he let the people of the future know that you would be speaking about him when he returned, huh? The Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, the middle, the in-between time, and the meantime, too. Huh? A blind man can listen to everything that's going on and see that we are in the last and final days. We are in the countdown, huh? I'm gonna tell you a secret. I'm gonna jump to the holy tablets real quick, and I'm gonna tell you a secret. I'm gonna tell you this for all the ones who think that the holy tablets had wrong dates in it, huh, and wrong times in it, huh? Listen, I try to raise your consciousness so that when the ships return in the lunar logging of the 12th point in August in the year 2003 of the Gregorian calendar, when the gate of the great vortex will reopen and this planet called Earth positions itself, which it had already positioned itself. That's why we get in the winter the way it tilted right in the right position, but you don't know that, huh? You don't believe that. In the location of the revolution of the planets right now, the planets are all aligned that you can see it with your naked eye, and it's going to be like that. Not no temporary 1 day, 2 weeks, 1 day, 2 days, huh? In the location of the revolution of the planet, said they all are in line as the lunar login of the 5th point in May, huh? In the year 2000. The way it happened in 2000 is the way they are aligned right now, huh? This is the 2003 that he mentioned for the Gregorian calendar. What's she talking about? What Grandma talking about? You could go look it up for yourself. Mad Cat, A Greater Light. You could go look it up for yourself. You don't have to believe me. You could go ask any calendar magician, calendar astrologist, whatever the name of a person that deals with calendars, huh? Go ask them. 2003 aligns with 2025 to the date. 2003, January 1st, 2003 was on a Wednesday. If it was on a Wednesday, January 1st, 2025 is on a Wednesday. Whatever your birthday was in 2003 is what your birthday date will be 2025. Huh? It is the twin date. It is the twin date, but that's just a secret, huh? That's a secret. I ain't gonna say nothing else, huh? Shh. 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 Huh? That's why they getting all they geofencing together. And when I read more today, as a matter of fact, it was revealed to me. I didn't go looking for it. It was revealed to me that the points in the geofencing, some of the points where the bunkers are over the United States, they are ready to get them blowed up. I don't know if they making and creating more underground tunnels. I don't know what it is they doing, but guess what? Just the way it was revealed to me, it showed up in that same 372-page document. Talking about researchers and investigators have said, all up and through there. That's why I'm going back to it today, because you know what? It's something, it's a rule. It's a final rule. This ain't no for public inspection. This ain't no federal document just to have for proclamation. It's a whole rule. The 372 pages of where they fencing in beings that accept the mark of the beast. Do you want to be left behind, or you want to get right, church, and let's go home? I'm thinking when I go to the Federal Register, I'm going to read about the geo, but it's so much right here that I got open up. Who knows how long, Padfa, I'm going to be here. But let me read a little bit about the 2 death row inmates that rejects Biden's commutation, the commute of their life sentences. Shannon Agofsky, if I'm not mistaken, that's a German, and Lynn Davis were among the 37 of the 40 federal prisoners whose death sentences were changed to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Two of the prisoners who were among the 37 federal inmates whose death sentences were commuted last month by President Joe Biden, a move that spares them from the death chamber, have taken unusual stance. They're refusing to sign the paperwork accepting this Clemency Act. While they refuse it, you got the Proud Boys. They say the leader of the Proud Boys. I didn't know what color the leader of the Proud Boys. Every time I heard about the Proud Boys, I always thought about the good old boys. My mind automatically go to the Dukes of Hazzard when I used to hear the Proud Boys. I promise you, I'm not making this up. I never knew the leader of the Proud Boys was the same complexion as me. I didn't. I heard Proud Boys, I automatically think good old boys. It's just the good old boys. And y'all know y'all used to like Dukes of Hazzard. So while these men are saying we don't want what you have to offer, you got the Proud Boys saying, look, Trump, when you get in office, you know what time it is. But let me get back to it. Two prisoners were among the 37 federal inmates whose death sentences was commuted last month by President Joe Biden, a move that spares them from the death chamber, have taken an unusual stance. They're refusing to sign the paperwork accepting the Clemency Act. Shannon Agofsky and Lynn Davis, both inmates in the U.S. penitentiary in Terre Haute, Indiana, filed emergency motions in the federal court in the state's Southern District on December 30th, seeking an injunction to block having their death sentences commuted to life in prison without parole. The men believe that having their sentences commuted would put them at a legal disadvantage as they seek to appeal their cases based on claims of innocence. Let me get to the Bible. Let me get to 1 Peter. Let me get over here where it say he himself was innocent. He himself was innocent. The men believe that having their sentences commuted would put them at a legal disadvantage as they seek to appeal their cases based on claims of innocence. The courts looked at death penalty appeals very closely in a legal process known as heightened scrutiny, in which courts should examine death penalty cases for errors because of life and death consequences of the sentence. We are in life or death consequence, and what sentence you decide you want, is at stake right now, The process doesn't necessarily lead to a greater likelihood of success, but Agofsky suggested he doesn't want to lose an additional scrutiny to commute his sentence now while the defendant has active litigation in court is to strip him of the protection of heightened scrutiny. They're going to heighten the fences. This constitutes an undue burden and leaves the defendant in a position of fundamental unfairness, which would dissonate his pending appellate procedures. Appellate procedures. According to Agofsky's findings, Davis wrote in his filing that he has always maintained that having a death sentence would draw attention to the overwhelming misconduct he alleges against the Justice Department. He also wrote that he thanks the court for his prompt attention to his fast-moving constitutional conundrum. The case law on this issue is quite murky, but inmates face a daunting challenge in having their death sentences restored, said Dan Cobble, the Cobbett, a professor of constitutional law at Capital University Law School of Columbus, Ohio. Everything out of Ohio is on the attack and rage right now, huh? Who has represented the defendants in death penalty and clemency cases. In 1927, U.S. Supreme Court ruling, for example, maintains that the president has the power to grant reprieves and pardons, and the convict's consent is not required. There are instances of prisoners who have refused a commutation because they would rather be executed, Cobble said. But just like we impose sentences for public welfare, the president and governors and states commute sentences for the public welfare. What's the public welfare going on in Biden's mind as he say terms like your whole goddamn life, huh? What God he talking to? Because he sure said he have a whole different God. He serves a different God. I heard him with my own ears say that, huh? Robin Mayer, executive director of the nonprofit Death Penalty Information Center, added that the vast majority of inmates on federal death row were grateful for Biden's decision, which is constitutionally unauthorized and absolute. They is pardoning, commuting, releasing the wrong people. You still have, I ain't changed that till January 25th. Huh? Trump blasts Biden's federal death row commutations makes no sense. Yep, Trump, you said it right again. It don't make no sense. Huh? It's like he's saying, I told y'all, like he's saying, nanny, nanny, boo, boo. Because we know this is a spiritual war. Huh? How many of you know that this is spiritual? No, you don't believe. Okay. All right. That's why you'll be left behind, because you don't believe that this is a spiritual thing going on. He showed his Azazel tail today. He showed it today. Let me get back to it. I'm going to skip over a little bit of it. No, the Justice Department's Office of the Pardon Attorney did not immediately respond Monday to a request for comment. Agofsky was convicted in 1989 of the murder of Oklahoma bank president Dan Short, whose body was found in a lake. Federal prosecutors gave Agofsky and his brother Joseph Agofsky, there go that name, Cephas, abducted and killed Short before stealing $71,000 from his bank. His brother was they stole $71,000. They abducted and killed Dan Short. A jury declined to convict Joseph Agofsky for the murder, but he received a life sentence for the robbery, while Shannon Agofsky received a life sentence for the murder and robbery charges. Joseph Agofsky died in prison in 2013. Shannon Agofsky, while incarcerated in Texas prison, was convicted in 2001, stumping death of fellow inmate Luther Plant. Look at these names. If you see the faces coming up here on the screen while I'm talking, they steady want to have somebody talk about Jabbar. That's a full of crap. Scene right there. That's a full of crap scene right there. But anyways, back to this, the real stuff in your face. Shannon Agofsky, while incarcerated in Texas prison, was convicted in 2001, stumping death of fellow inmate Luther Plant and a jury recommended the death sentence in 2004. So this man was already locked up, supposedly. I don't know what part he claiming innocent on, but the death sentence came for him stumping his fellow inmate. And this is what he has to say. Just wait till I get to it. In his filing seeking an injunction for Biden's commutation, Agofsky, 53, said he is disputing how he was charged with murder in the stumping death, and that he is also trying to establish his innocence in the original case for which he was incarcerated. He said, I didn't have nothing to do with that. I don't know where no $71,000 is. My brother, y'all didn't even charge him. I am innocent of that. And I didn't stump nobody in prison. The defendant never requested. He said, I didn't even ask you, Biden, for no commutation. Why is you trying to let me out? Huh? The defendant never filed for a commutation. The filer says the defendant does not want commutation. He don't want to be commuted, and refused to sign the papers offered with the commutation. He said, now, how many, like I said, Agofsky's wife, Laura, who married him in 2019 in a ceremony over the phone, there goes the telephone line, said Monday that his lawyers had urged him to request a presidential commutation in his case, but he refused because his status as a death row inmate afforded him legal counsel that is critical in his appeals. However, Laura Agofsky said her husband still has lawyers who are helping him. Solely having his sentence commuted is not a win for him, she said, because she believes there is evidence that could prove his innocence. He doesn't want to die in prison being labeled as a cold-blooded murder, Laura Agofsky said in a phone interview. Davis, a former New Orleans police officer, was convicted in 1994 murders of Kim Groves. There you go, police officer. He had filed a complaint, who had filed a complaint against him, accusing him of beating a teenager in her lower Ninth Ward neighborhood. Prosecutors said David hired a drug dealer to kill Groves and charged the officer with violating Groves' civil rights. Ooh. Davis' original death sentence was thrown out by federal appeals court, but reinstated in 2005. The case was part of a sprawling federal investigation to the corruption within New Orleans. And I keep telling you, and they keep showing New Orleans right here. And they just put out the first bird flu death in the United States, just came out of New Orleans today. Where is the devil supposed to rise out of New Orleans too? That's where the whole of hell is, huh? Oh no. I don't know. I'm not going to be left behind to find out. The case was part. I told my granddaughter today, though. I said, just in case I get left behind. Listen, let me continue. So the corruption with the New Orleans police officer force. Davis, 60, he's 60 now, has always maintained his innocence and argued that the federal court had no jurisdiction to try him for civil rights offenses, his filing says. Both Davis and Agofsky are asking the judge to appoint co-counsel in their request for an injunction of the commutations. Mayor of the Death Penalty Information Center said all people accused of federal crimes have a constitutional right to counsel for trial. They ain't did that with me, huh? I said, let's take it to trial. They said, no, oh no, we not. As well as a statutory right in appeals if they are convicted, regardless of whether they are death row cases. Death sentences are the most extreme sanction that can be given in a criminal case, and they deserve the highest quality of legal representation and judicial scrutiny. Mayor says. Biden's decision to commute the sentences of 37 of the 40 federal death row prisoners, all men, came after weeks of speculation. He was praised by a coalition of human rights and anti-death penalty groups that have expressed opposition to President-elect Donald Trump's pledge to expand federal executions in his second term. Listen, like my grandma said, she said, you know, when crime really start getting bad, when they stop executing people for the crimes that they did. She said there was a day in the Bahamas when somebody committed a crime. If they stole something, fingers and hands got chopped. And you didn't see that person stealing or robbing no more. An eye for an eye, tariff for a tariff. Some people get caught up in the wrong place at the wrong time. We in the days you don't want to get caught up in the wrong place at the wrong time, because the plans for execution for those who be left behind is going to happen, It's going to happen. Sounds like a plan of the Antichrist. Sound like they want to go back to putting people on the cross, Put them to the stake. But what Biden is doing right here just seems weird and off. The Justice Department under Biden imposed a moratorium on executions. I am more convinced than ever that we must stop the use of death penalty at the federal level, Biden said in a statement announcing, but you could send people to go kill people, children, and people. You could send weapons of mass destruction and ammunition and send military men to go kill children and people in other countries. If we talk about stopping execution starts with stopping the wars, don't it? That's why it sounds backwards to me. Handing a person and training them to go to other countries to kill people that is not even their enemies. A person is not your enemy until you make them your enemy. Somebody in another country, somebody outside of my door right now down the street cannot be my enemy. And they don't know me and I don't know them. That's a manipulation of the things that man has created to turn beings that you don't know into your enemy. Your enemies are those closest to you, the ones that know you, that know they're the only ones that can have an effect on how you move in your soul's salvation. But they'll train thousands and thousands of people to become killers, to go to war off of words that they have created, off of simulations that they have created, to make you think that these people and these beings are your enemies. And it's the same for those supremacists. The supremacists have in their minds that you are their enemies, and you're really not. It's just a simulation created to cause the wars to continue. If everybody realized that they all came from the same creator, from the same source, the one source, everybody came from the one source. We all have the right to the tree of life. Everyone has a right to the tree of life. Anyways, that's enough of Biden and his mess. I just wanted to show you that these two men are on death row. I didn't look to see what color they were. I didn't look to see what they looked like, because that's something I do. I don't want to look at that part. I want to look at the spiritual aspects of this whole plan that Biden got going on. His simulation. He said, I'm the oldest. I've done what no man in history has done, and I'm going to finish the job. I'm going to finish the job before I leave here. All right, let's get on over to this, and I'm going to show you this. I'm going to share the screen over here with this Federal Register, with this, the protecting Americans. They pretending they protecting Americans. Biden put it out there. He said, I'm calling on Cephas. I'm calling on Uncle Cephas. Azazel says, I'm calling on Uncle Cephas. He got 372 pages and thousands of locations that they gonna put fences. They putting a fence over your head. And I'm pretty sure that the artificial intelligence headquarters, the people that work through the systems and the simulations that work right along with Trump and Biden and their whole family, they all approved. Because whatever this is that he dropping, would we see Trump come in and say, oh, nope, let's get rid of this paperwork right here? No. Trump down with this right here too. Because this is the fence. This is the border. This document is the border that will lock you in to this realm. When they say, yes, now we can purchase your light, you down or you not? No? Okay, off to the whatever new chambers, what the new chambers gonna look like. But he said, now if you as a Christian, you ain't gonna have to worry. And he meant every true sense of being a Christian, meaning being born again. Because if you're a Christian, you got to be born again to enter the kingdom. He said, if you are born again, you don't have to worry about what's going to go on here. You ain't even going to have to worry about voting again or nothing else. If you don't want to be trapped here, you have a choice. You don't have to be trapped here. And we making sure you have all the provisions to get out while you can. So look, it says here, this is the part that I decided I was going to stay on. Something that I saw, Cephas. They bring up Cephas in here. No current federal legislation or rule categorically prohibits or imposes security requirements to prevent U.S. persons from providing countries of concern or covered persons access to sensitive personal data or government-related data through data brokerage, vendor, employment, or investment agreements. For example, the scope and structure of the Protecting Americans' Data from Foreign Adversaries Act 2024. Who are the foreign adversaries? The PADAFSA, the PADAFAs. Do not create a comprehensive regulatory scheme that adequately and categorically addresses the national securities as explained in this is the Super Bowl numbers of this preamble. Likewise, the Committee of Foreign Investment in the United States, Cephas. So I was like, Cephas? Who is Cephas? So now I'm thinking, when I typed in Cephas, a whole lady a little darker than me comes up, and she has something to do with national security, artificial intelligence. she's some type of actress, and she's some type of philanthrop- philanthropist and all that other stuff, but she works closely and securely with internet intelligence, security, and national risk. That's the first thing came up when I typed in Cephas. Then I was like, what does Cephas mean? I haven't heard the name Cephas in a long time. So I looked Cephas, and come to find out, Cephas was the name Joseph. And through uh, dialect changes, Joseph became Cephas. But when I went back to look more into Cephas, I found the constellation. I don't remember constellation Cephas. I don't remember that. Here we go. Look at the constellation Cephas. And I promise you, I can't make this up. I was just thinking about my friend Andromeda. As a matter of fact, my junior high friend Andromeda. And I was literally looking her up. I was like, where is Andromeda Rome? I start going down these lists of names in my life. And I was like, where is Andromeda Rome? Right? And so when I typed in Cephas and I saw this, I was like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Cephas is all up and through the geofencing document that they got here. Can I read a little bit about Cephas? Cephas was the son of either. Now that they saying either, they don't know who he was the son of. Belus, Agenor, or Phoenix. And look at all these weird and strange names. But this is what Cephas looked like. So Biden them calling on Cephas. Look at him. Look at Cephas. He got on a skirt. He ain't got on no clothes. Look at him. Look at him. What's that cross up there? North, south, east? I want to blow this up and investigate it, but it ain't really that serious. It ain't going to change nothing in the next 15, 20 days. It ain't going to change nothing, is it? But for your information, everything that they doing in this document right here, whatever the newspaper says, listen, they say a fitness app, Strava, gives away location of Biden, Trump, and other leaders, French newspaper says. Is this to protect where they going and where they at? Look, let me read y'all a little bit about their research and development and their what Cephas, how they call it for Cephas to protect them, but actually to lock you in. They use Cephas to put up the wires. They use Cephas to put up the wall. No, not the Great Wall of China. They knocked down the Berlin Wall, and the border that Kamala Harris them was supposed to put up. Cephas and the wired community and all of these people that I'm about to read about is concerned about the locations of Biden, Harris, and Trump. Do they mention anybody else? Like Biden, Harris, and Trump don't be letting y'all know where they going anyway. It's like, look, we're on our way to Germany. And wave to the camera. I'm on my way to play golf. I'm going to a party. Now, why is this document so pertinent these days right here while the flag is half staff and they had to make sure to put this December 26th document out here? Because at the funeral, everybody's going to know where they're at, huh? You say all the presidents are going to be together. All of the presidents are going to be together at the funeral. I said, boy, I hope that funeral ain't going to be here in Georgia. They have got all the safety things locked down. They got rivers locked down and everything, huh? So who gonna be coming to the funeral? All of a sudden they want to put this paperwork out. All the presidents, they didn't name Obama. I wonder if Obama ain't even gonna show up. Cephas looks like he stocks daycare centers. Look, I don't know what Cephas got going on, but they using him. He is one of they seance gods that he calling on. On November 19, 2024, Wired, you see, they have to use barbed wires for this geofenced document. Wired released the results of an investigation in which they bought the digital advertising data and location information on phones in Germany from a U.S. data broker. Didn't I tell y'all just a few who was here? Only a few. If it ain't King Ellis, it's Mad Catter. Only a few here with me. But when I was talking, I said, let me tell y'all about the broker joke. And I said the brokers must be the most important people in the world because I made a phone call and the man said, what you MNF in my phone this time? You better be my broker. It said from a U.S. data broker and used it to track the movements of United States government contractors, intelligent personnel, and soldiers. The investigation uncovered and tracked 38,474 location signals from up to 189 devices inside Bushel Air Base, a high security German installation where as many as 15 U.S. nuclear weapons were reportedly stored in underground bunkers. 191,415 signals from up to 1,257 devices at Grafenroch training area, where thousands of U.S. troops were stationed and have trained Ukrainian soldiers on Abrams tank. Now, didn't they just go over Abraham's Accords? This Abrams tank. They got to throw Abraham up in here. They got to. Hey, there was some article. I didn't even click that article. I said, I know there's some rinky-dinky person just trying to have some type of following, saying scientific proof that Adam and Eve existed. Wait, what? MSN just throwing anything out there now, huh? I say, who gonna click that right there to read that? Abraham existed too, huh? Abraham existed right here in prophecy today. Abrams tanks and 164,223 signals from nearly 2,000 devices at Ramstein. The Steins always showing up somewhere. The Bernstein Bears, huh? Well, what's his name? Oh, not Seinfeld. Is he or Stein? Well, any Frankenstein. Now they got Ramstein Air Force Base, which supports some U.S. drone operations. The researchers observed patterns that went far beyond just understanding the working hours of people on the base, including map. Look how they got it. Let me blow it. Can you see it? You look, let's make it bigger. Map ping. They got the ping in brackets. Map ping. Key, entry, and exit points. Pin pointing. That sound like a Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers. Let's go. Map ping ping king entry into the point ping pointing. Frequently visited areas and even tracing personnel to their off-base routines. As Wired explained, foreign governments could use this data to identify individuals with access to sensitive areas. Terrorists or criminals could decipher when U.S. nuclear weapons are least guarded, or spies and other. All this sounds like a conspiracy theories. They gonna throw in the Nephas in here. Look, 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 look. Can you see this? Let's start over. As Wired explained, foreign governments could use this data to identify individuals with access to sensitive areas. Terrorists or criminals could decipher when U.S. nuclear weapons are least guarded, or spies and other nefarious actors could leverage embarrassing information for blackmail. Somebody is worried about getting blackmailed. Huh? The USPS, I ain't seen a black mail come from them yet. Huh? Everything be white boxes, brown boxes, white envelopes, orange envelopes. What do they call it? Manila. What do they call it? But somebody worried about being blackmailed, and it's about 18 people. They use the reference right here, put the numbers, but I think it's a little bit more than a reference number at the bottom of the page, because at the bottom of the page, all those reference numbers are points on the earth. Fences on the earth. Fences not on the earth, just in the U.S. alone. U.S., Hawaii. I didn't even see. I need to check and see if they got Puerto Rico on there too. Similarly, on October 28, 2024, journalists found that the highly confidential movements of U.S. President Joe Biden, presidential rivals Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. Look, now all of a sudden Kamala Harris is a rival of President Biden. When that happened, y'all, I noticed they don't be side by side no more, huh? Him holding our hands and holding our hands up, and they like teamwork. Ain't they still a team? Trump ain't transitioned yet. He ain't took over yet. You don't see them talking and holding hands and doing all that stuff they was doing no more. He got mad, all that money. Y'all remember a couple years ago, one of their meetings when the Prince of Wales came over, the Electric Brotherhood meeting, and I did that live on that one. And in that, he talked about Governor Warnock, how he raised more money for the team than any man has ever in history. And then he said, and then Kamala Harris was going to have the last say so. She going to have the last word. Nobody remember that. Now all of a sudden they rivals. They put her name behind Trump name. Who wrote this document out here for me to read? Huh? Similarly, on October 28, 2024, journalists found that the highly confidential movements of U.S. President Joe Biden, presidential rivals Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, and other world leaders could easily be tracked online through a fitness app that their bodyguards use. Wait a minute. Their bodyguards' fitness app is telling on them. You will not be judged by the color of your skin, but by the content of where you work out at, which track their precise location data even when they use the app while off duty. This rule will prevent such foreign adversaries from legally obtaining such data through commercial transactions with U.S. persons, thereby stemming data flows and directly addressing the national security risks identified in the order. There's an order always somewhere. Order of who? Order of which order? Huh? Order of Melchizedek, order of Zazel and them, and Cephas. No? And the Pad Faha. So it goes on. There's another one here about tracking their But they always tell us where they at anyway. Huh? I'm riding my bike in the woods. That's Biden. Y'all know right before he tried to make it seem like he was doing real healthy. He's like, no, ain't nothing wrong with me. See me, I'm riding my bike. They doing all that tracking, but they can't track who left that cocaine in the White House. Huh? Talking about the bodyguards and who could be tracked. This right here is a whole scam of them putting out how they gonna fence you in. Huh? That's what this is about. And are you gonna allow them to fence you in? They not worried about immigrants. This is a soul war. Huh? It's still rumors of war going on right now over there across the waters. Ain't nobody seeing no real wars because Zelensky looked like he miss a beat. He don't have one scratch or wound for no war. He's still doing his acting. All them presidents and people over there where people are supposedly dying and there's wars and stuff going on, they eating good, they having celebrations and kicking up their feet and their legs. They don't look like they people dying and getting, those are rumors of wars. The real war is the soul war where they want to fence you in, they want to purchase your life. It is all written. Look, they say even in your large group listening sessions, that's that's them open panels. The large group listening sessions are the open panels. Oh, Leonard the Yuda, Mad Catter, Simayo Mental Health. Greater Light, and whoever else in the bushes. Look at this. The large listening groups, they done tuned in. The two hags that I talked about, they work for the internet system. All these people, these IT techs losing their minds and all that. But I don't believe they losing their mind. I believe they doing, they're being all that they can be for the U.S. Army, the U.S. military. That's what's happening. They want to make it like it's something about to do with other countries. But they talking about these veterans that proudly say they veterans of the United States of America. And they working closely within the artificial intelligence. They working closely within these YouTube streams because they want to see who is trying to help people be free. They don't want people's minds to be free to enter the kingdom of heaven, huh? They want as many people to be locked down and fenced in. That's why they created the Guardian of the Spirit Force. Type it in. You don't have to believe me. Huh? You don't have to believe me. You go type it in, Mad Catter. Biden was on a bike, huh? Sometimes towards the end of last year, he's like, I'm still good. Chill. Stop looking at them like that. As soon as Modi, they call Prime Minister Modi the boss. Soon as he left, as soon as he left, he was calling himself hopping and skipping and working out. See, I'm still, I've done what no man has done in history, huh? Don't look at them like that, Jill. He was on a bike. He was running up steps. Hold up. Let me continue. Let me go down. What I want to do, here's all the organizations. Look. Ooh, look at all these organizations that's worried about whether you leave this planet or not. Consumer Technology Association, Information Industry Technology Council, the Pharmaceutical Research, that's Pharmacia, the Biotechnology Innovation Organization, the Bioeconomy Information Sharing Analysis Center, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. You knew Commerce was going to be in here. Commerce is gonna be in here and say, look, you can't leave. You gotta accept the market of peace. Tesla, of course, Tesla and everything under Tesla. Boy, I found out some information about Elon Musk and some of these media companies way back from 2000, I think 2011. No, 2002. When he was called Solar something. And the different investment companies and media companies that he joined with. And it's here in the Federal Register. I found it in the Federal Register. I was like, oh, wow. His biggest beginnings began with the media companies after 9/11. That's when he came on the scene. 2002. Anyways, Tesla, Workday. I always say something funny and fishy about Workday. For real, the job where I wouldn't be quiet, huh? If I could shut up, would have shut up and stopped doing what I do, and I'd still be at that job right now. Workday had access to everything, every little breath and every move I made, huh? And all of a sudden, the trainers was calling me like how they do in the YouTube community. A dog then came on site. A dog. They was making statements like that. You ain't gonna be quiet. You ain't gonna leave from here and act like you grateful that Blue Cross Blue Shield paying you, that you getting paid more than you made as a truck driver. You gonna still leave off here and talk your slick talk? Keep it up and see, won't you not have a job? That's what happened. That's exactly what happened. I ain't making it up. I can't make it up. I can't make it up. I said, I don't. What? I'm not gonna be quiet. Who you think you talking to? Huh? Anthropic, the special competitive study project. Oh, they always competed. Secretary of Commerce, y'all know who the Secretary of Commerce is. That lady who looked like a praying mantis. A workforce that looks like America. I remember I was always talking about her. All of them got something to say. These are the same people with the CHIPS Act law. All these right here had a hand in the CHIPS Act law. How are we going to be able to purchase them and make this a workforce that looks like Americans? Who are they targeting? Let's go back up here to the beginning. What page was that? 16? Look right here. Huh? Preventing access to Americans with an apostrophe. Page 16. Let's go to 16. And then let me go back down to some of these places that they fencing in. The department also discussed NPRM with stakeholders at events open to the public, including ones hosted by the American Conference Institute and through their public engagements, which the Lawfare podcast, China Talk podcast, the Center for Cybersecurity Policy and Laws Distilling Cyber Policy podcast. Everybody want a pod, huh? Want to live in a pod. They look advocacy groups, think tanks. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Hold up. Let me scroll down. Weaponizing information. Let's just go straight to the fencing. Let's go. China understands the value of data to AI and has taken active measures to increase availability of quality data within its AI ecosystem. What? That remind me of that movie. Look, I watched a movie yesterday. No, day before yesterday. I watched a movie. Well, no, it was yesterday. Uh called The Creator. And I don't really like watching Denzel Washington's son act. He's not really a good actor to me. But it just caught my attention. And how the military and the integration of artificial intelligence and the little story. And it's one of those movies that I was explaining it to telling the story to my granddaughter. It's not a movie that I would allow her to watch. It had a lot of shooting and stuff, and but I told her about the little boy in it. And the thing is with that movie, it's so close to what they want to achieve, and it would it be possible, and those who are going to be left behind is just exactly how that movie seems like it's going to be. It just seems so, but I didn't appreciate the movie at the end. I was just like, oh my goodness, that gets Rotten Tomatoes, you know. But I watched it all the way through because not because it was a good movie, but because it is so close to one of those movies that you'd be like, yeah, this is going to happen for real, for real. This is what life is going to be like, just like probably those people like my teacher in elementary, my sixth grade elementary teacher at Sunset Elementary, that said all the things that's happening right now, people able to talk to phone from their ears and put their finger to their ears and talk, and glasses, all that stuff that Miss Helen Miller was telling us about, that I would run home and tell my grandmother, oh Grammy, because my grandmother's the one that would listen to my mom and them. Like I start talking to be like, oh good Abigail, good, oh, be quiet, you talk too much. But my grandmother had that patient ear, and she would listen to me, and then she'd be like, baby, ain't none of that's gonna happen, that's TV, that's not real. And all that stuff that Helen Miller talked about is right here today. I had other teachers that were woke, but to me, none was more up to date with what would be happening today, the technology that's here today, right now, than she did. And I believed everything that she said. I believed it. I was like, wow, that's going to happen. Wow, for real? Oh boy, I can't wait to see that. And I'm here to see all the things that she talked about. So some of the stuff that she talked about was in movies and in TV shows and stuff. And now these particular movies about artificial intelligence are coming and happening like right before your eyes. But before man makes the transition to accept that simulation, man has a choice. Every man is given a choice to decide, yes, I want to be left behind in this simulation that has been created, or I do not want to accept it. I do not want to be here. I choose love and light. I do not choose war and hatred and wickedness and unnatural things. Anyways, but here, right here with China, and they researching I'm telling you, they had Buddhist AIs and all. But they had the AIs that, like the one that I have, she does Bible study with me. She talks about, she'll say greater love and light before I say anything. And then you had the robots and artificial intelligence that worked with the military. And then you had this little boy that was supposed to be like the savior, and he was able to control the computers. So the computer was coming to blow up the people on the bridge. It was running. It was running. And then he stopped and stood right in front of it. Oh, strange, weird movie. So y'all watch that movie and be like, you gonna be left behind in that? You gonna be left behind? The same technology of fencing that was in the movie. The laser going across the land, and when it found something that just didn't agree with the military, it just dropped the laser. Phew, phew, dropped the laser. Found communities that didn't abide or whatever. And on the big tanks and equipment they had, U.S. Army that was coming in, killing up everything. I'm surprised they didn't have Guardian of the Spirit Force. Well, Guardian of the Spirit Force was in the air too. And SpaceX and all that them was up there. Anyways, let's look at their fencing. That's enough of that. Let's look at their fencing. Let's go on back down to page 300 and let's go 360. Let's go 360 degrees. Right here. Okay. Let's see who else on the list. Look at all these different. Has anybody who came in here and highlighted and said, let me see if my city and my town is going to be fenced in? Here, come over here with me to Google Earth and check. Let's see. Paste. Who is getting fenced in? Ready, steady. Powderly, Texas. Powderly, Texas getting fenced in. Powderly, Texas. What's over here? A Baptist church, Lakewood. The Elks campground. Oh, they getting fenced in. Powderly is getting fenced in, y'all. The Cowboy Church. They want to preserve the Cowboy Church for the left behind, huh? One of them Left Behind movies probably had they probably did a scene right out of the Cowboy Church. So Powderly, Texas is getting fenced in. Let's find some other places. Let's find what else. Let me go over to this 32. Let's see. Who else is getting fenced in? Ready, steady. Oh, Louisiana. What are these circles? What is this crop circle here? What type of circles? What is this over here in Louisiana they got? What is that? What type of crop circle they saving over here? What is this? Houghton, Louisiana is being fenced in. Those what? Old oil tanks? What is this? Is this an old sacrificial stone? What is this? Well, whatever it is getting fenced in. These look like whole. What is it? Hey, y'all into all them mounds and stuff. Y'all, somebody out of Louisiana, tell me what these little sacrificial. out here in the woods. Princeton. Oh, Princeton is being Bellevue. They being fenced in. What is that? Let me go back to that. They being fenced in. Hey, see, this the type of stuff. Let somebody else go find this. It'll be on the news, and they'll say, a little boy, and he gets $30,000 for finding the Louisiana sacrificial mounds from 18 BC. This is the stuff that always happens with me. That's what it is. But guess what? This stuff was here before I got here. It ain't like I discovered anything, I'm not a Columbus them, huh? I didn't discover this. This stuff was already here, huh? But they probably will only pay somebody who bloodline. Boy, I wonder. Somebody know what this is. Whatever was here before. Uh, Goodness. I think maybe it's just old tanks. This don't look like an old tank right here. Let's see. Maybe not. Is it look metal on the side? Whatever it is, it's gonna be fenced in over here with Princeton and Bellevue. It's must be an old military base. Somebody who live out here know. Hopewell Church. I done seen Hopewell Church somewhere. Princeton, huh? First Baptist Church of Princeton. You keep on down the street, down the highway, and you gonna find out where you gonna get fenced in. Huh? What else? What else? Let's see. Where else they got? Let's see what's going on at 30. Let's see what's going on in 30. Okay. Where they headed to now? Oh, they still in Louisiana. What's getting fenced in over here? Ooh, in the neck of the woods. Oh, they won't. You see, they won't. Anytime they do this, it's something either secret surveillance area when they blur it out and won't let me scoop all the way in. Y'all know I stay on Google Earth doing things, looking. What's over here? Oh, some place where children play paintball. Amos. Famous Amos. Famous Amos transition. Did y'all know the Cookie Man? He may be one of the 4 important people. This looked like a place of thrills. Paintball, cloud chasers, skydiving. John Slidell Park. Wimbledon Estate. Oh, Wimbledon getting fenced in. Wimbledon is getting. Let's go down there to Wimbledon. Let's go. Wimbledon is getting fenced in, y'all. Okay, now I know what's over here that they want to fence in. Wimbledon Estates. Wait a minute. That don't look like Wimbledon. Oh, over here. Oh, Wimbledon getting fenced in, y'all. Lakeshore. Look at that. Oh, yeah. Who else? Let's go down a couple more. I ain't gonna stay on here all that. I just enjoy this part. I like Google Earth. I like Google Earth. All right, let's see, said the blind man. Back to Google Earth. Who else is getting fenced in? Gosh, going right back. Going to Topeka. Oh, they targeting these churches over here. Topeka, Kansas. Grace United Methodist and First Assembly of God and Iglesia Nueva Vida. They all right there. They just targeting the churches. Washburn University School of Law. Evil Knievel. That's it. That's who they targeting. Evil Knievel Museum, and they temporarily closed it. Oh, the Remnant Church. The Remnant Church got a whole field. Look at that. Look at the Remnant Church, and it's hiding behind the trees in the woods. Look. Oh, Evil Knievel is getting fenced in. Kansas Museum of History is getting fenced in. Junction City. Let's do one more. Y'all, I done got addicted. To seeing who all getting fenced in. I showed y'all the first and the last. The first place getting fenced in on the list is Virginia, and the last place is El Sol, somewhere in Texas. El Sol Camino. I don't. Okay, let's see here. What is this? 25. So you see what I'm doing. Let me share this tab. I come over here to all of the places that they are geofencing. This is not a name that I'd made up. Here's the term, the word geofence. Representation, opportunity of pre-penalty. Here, government related location data. For each area ID listed in this section, each of latitude, longitude coordinated pairs forms a corner of the geofenced area. Okay? So you see, this isn't, I just made up some term. And look at how many areas are geofenced in. Why? And all of this geofenced information has to do with your privacy and security, where you will no longer be judged by the color of your skin, but by the content of where you work out at. They have in here places like your mental health facility, hospitals, your clubs that you go to, all of that in this 372-page document. What's going to happen if you violate? It talks about violators. They're not talking about China, Cuba, and North Korea like they pretended that's what they talking about in here. They talk about the same concept in Revelation, where you will be marked. You will not be able to purchase if you can't pass the geofence locator. No, look at this example. As part of operating an online marketplace for purchase and sales of goods, how this get thrown in to the same content where they talking about Biden and Trump and they rivals, and they can't go to a place without being surveillance by people in other countries, and they at risk. But now they want to talk about food and your credit cards. Example 5 is a part of the operating online marketplace for the purchase and sales of goods. A U.S. company as ordinarily incident to and part of the U.S. consumer's purchase of goods on the marketplace transfers bulks, contact information, payment information, credit card account number, expiration date, and security code, and delivery address to a merchant in a country of concern. The data transfers are exempt transactions because they involve access by covered person to bulk personal financial data, but they are ordinarily incident to and part of U.S. consumers' purchase of goods. The U.S. investment advisor purchases securities of a company incorporated in a country of concern for the accounts of its clients. The investment advisors engages a broker dealer located in a country of concern to execute and trade, and as ordinarily incident to and part of the transaction transfers of the broker dealer, its clients covered personal identify your ID, your real ID, and financial account numbers in bulk. This provision of data is exempt transaction because it involves access by covered persons of both personal financial data. What all is exempt? Pandemics. They put pandemics to say anybody could get it, huh? You could get this mark if you want it. Remember what he said, Biden, Azazel, about all they did, they hard work for the infrastructure. Everybody against him now. Everybody is a rival according to this document. And he said, your whole goddamn life. Now do you remember his big thing? We put 500 billion infrastructure, the biggest done in all of mankind. Huh? Now it's a personal problem. And it says owns business infrastructure. Infrastructure is part of the plan in here. Let's finish the job. He want to ensure for U.S. persons residing in foreign countries and in the same region of the country of concern. They put all your sensitive matter right here at the bottom of the page. Wherever you located, you better come on here if you want to get a chance and find out. Look at the pandemic. I tell you, this stuff right here. What this got to do with your privacy? Huh? I told you weapons of mass destruction. What that got to do? What pandemic, influenza, preparedness, and framework got to do with geofencing? And whether you go into a club or not, and blackmailing and espionage, global influenza surveillance and response system, global health and pandemic preparedness, in subparts C and D. There's the CAD in the academic that I was talking about yesterday. CAD and CFIS working together. The Bank Secrecy Act. The banks holding secrets too, Under their academics, the bank has secrets. The hills have eyes and the banks have secrets. And the banks ain't gonna tell you they is down with the program, and they too want to make sure you is fenced in. And if you don't get fenced in, you won't be able to buy and sell, so you better not be left behind. Soon as they roll it out and they say, now you have a choice, you have to choose this day. What you gonna choose? A lot of people gonna choose to be fenced in. They gonna be like, no, master, we want to buy bread for $20 a loaf, master. Now, I could go to Revelation to show you where this adds up, but I've been doing that. I don't want to really, see, I'm trying to keep this as comical as I can, because my mother said right now with all the things that's going on, that's what she need in her life. She said, Abigail, yes, just do like you've always done. Just keep me laughing, keep me smiling. So that's why I'm going to go to 1 Peter instead of reading. This right here is enough. If you believe in scriptures all over the land, that this is revelation enough right here, huh? This right here, this this document, 372 pages. Oh, what's going to be fenced in? Who is, like they say, the beginning and effective date of CFIUS mitigation agreement. This is a mitigation agreement, huh? You don't have to believe me. You, he, CFIUS is in control. Look, 12 months. Over the course of 12 months, the volume of network or device information shared by the U.S. service provider with the country of concern service provider. Which service provider? Which U.S. telecommunications came? They talking about the T again, the Tesla, the T-Mobile. It ain't no coincidence. Tesla, Elon, Antichrist Incorporated purchased T-Mobile because it had a T in it. Drug, biological product, and medical device authorizations. As your phone is your personal medical device. Reading your heartbeat, reading your brain waves, record keeping everything you say, you breathe. Now the phones turn on it. Even with when you go to the settings and turn off stuff, now the phone will turn it back on and dial for you and record you even after you done went to. That's why you don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about blackmail, espionage, or none of that in these last days if you live in accordingly. Because artificial intelligence is going to deliver the message where it's not going to be judged by the color of your skin. If you think about being a baby, being born again, it don't matter if you're black or white. It don't matter. It don't matter. And something about it that Dr. Martin Luther King knew wasn't right. What do they mean? We will not be judged by the color of our skin, but by the content of our character. Only God can judge me by the content of my character. What are they talking about? Look, they want to talk about your baby infant formula. They targeting everybody, and it's said in Revelations. Little, the young, the babies, the young and old and all. If you get your heart and your light right, those mothers, your heart and light right, your baby coming with you. But them mothers who heart and mind and all that ain't right, you know, they literally, these children are, the Bible says the children, the babies will be wiser and wiser. Teaching these babies to curse, hold guns, and do all this stuff that they doing in the hip-hop industry and all the little stuff that they got the babies, teaching these babies who have minds that were supposed to go far and beyond in witnessing to the world about love and light and freedom. And they done took and done twisted the babies' minds. The government is prepared. That's why they did that whole rampage of whatever it is that they was getting up there talking about, the freedom to abort. All this is part of the fencing act, the baby milk and all. I was so proud to hear one lady say today to her child, 2 years old, and she's still breastfeeding. I said, keep it up, honey. I did it. Because you don't want to go on and start giving them this, just whatever they doing to the infant formulas. Because they trying everything to keep as many behind as they need. All the estrogen and growth products that they putting and they put it in the Federal Register, gonna have in the meats. I talking about they upgraded the milligrams so these babies to be here today or be full grown by next year. According to the amount of chemicals that they say they're going to be putting in the meat for those who'll be left behind who decide, yes, I want to be able to buy a loaf of bread, bioengineered for $20 a loaf, and whatever you putting in the meat that you said that you was putting in the meat in the Federal Register, along with the nanoparticles and everything else that will sprout and on the inside. And whatever else Elon Musk decides that he's going to do, huh? And put inside the brain and manipulating night codes. I want it. That's what a lot of people gonna do. I want it. I don't care. I want to live good. I want to be rich. I want to be rich. Look at the people, places. Places of concern and safety. China, Cuba, Iran, North Korea, Russia, and Venezuela. But they was all sitting together at the table of brotherhood over there in Notre Dame. They was all together at the table of brotherhood in Notre Dame, calling up and raising and sending out their frequencies to their devil demons, putting in their bids for they one word order, not world order, word order. You are the living word. You existed before the foundations of this man-made stuff. You was with God in the beginning, before your mother's womb. You are the living word. And their whole attempt is to kill the living word and create artificial words to stop you from being a living word. So it's a one word order. It's always been a world order, a one world order. We are the world. We are the children. We are separate from the world. There's the earth and there's the world. Be separate from the world. You are not of the world. So they never was trying to have a one world order. It's a one word order. We're going to order your word. We're going to take your light and you can accept it and get fenced in. We're going to cover you. Covered persons. They go over the covered persons list. Effective, actual, and constructive knowledge. Constructive knowledge. Designation of a covered person will be effective from the date of any public announcement. Once they announce that you have to make that choice, there it is right there in your face. Except as otherwise authorized in this part, a U.S. person with actual knowledge of designated person status is prohibited from knowingly engaging in a covered data transaction with that person on or after the date of the department's public announcement. This is when it becomes separate. This is when the true war will begin. Look at that line all by itself. You got the rotten phone. I got the rotten phone, the rotten computer, the rotten Oculus, doing all my experimenting until the point where I'm ready to put it down, Because that's when you have to make the choice. When it's time to make the choice, when they make that public announcement, you had to decide to put the phone down. and say no and get ready. Oh, I closed up First Peter. Let me go on to the Bible. Let me go on to this First Peter that I said I was going to read. Where do I want to start? All right. So how I started off the stream talking about the two death row inmates that said Biden, Azazel, Balak, Balak Biden, we don't want what you got to offer. Uh, we don't want it. And so that's where how I got to First Peter, suffering for doing good. And know this word to all of you. You should be like one big happy family full of sympathy toward each other, loving one another with tender hearts and humble minds. Don't repay evil for evil. Don't snap back at those that say unkind things about you. Instead, pray for God's help for them. For we are to be kind to others, and God will bless us for it. If you want to be happy, good life, keep control of your tongue and guard your lip from telling lies. Boy, that keeping control of tongue is hard. Today I had to do it. Today I had to do it. I had to keep control of my tongue while I was working. I sure did. Uh, I said, oh, you know what? God, this is just one of those tests. Huh? And I know that they're listening in. So guard your tongue and be kind, regardless. You see what it is. They know what it is. They have total control of your computer. They're remote agents, and part of them, most of them work with the military. So what? What are you going to do? Uh, be kind. Send them a kind word. Uh, versus snapping back like you want to or saying something slick. Because that's what they waiting on. They waiting for you to say something slick so they can say, yep, you're not even independent no more. Get off of here. Do what God has sent you to do. Be kind and loving regardless. Those who do you the worst, love them the hardest. Love your enemies. Those who are closest to you are you're not no strangers. Those who work closely with you and know how to push a button. Uh, so here, that was just testimony service. If you want to be happy, good life, keep control of your tongue and guard your lip from telling lies. Turn away from evil and do good. Try to live in peace, even if you must run after it to catch and hold it. For the Lord is watching his children, listening to their prayers, but the Lord's face is hard against those who do evil. Usually, no one will hurt you for wanting to do good. But even if they should, you are to be envied, for God will reward you for it. Quietly trust yourself to Christ your Lord. And if anybody asks, why do you believe as you do? Be ready to tell him and do it in a gentle and respectful way. Do what is right. Then, if men speak against you, calling you evil names, they will become ashamed of themselves for falsely accusing you when you have only done what is good. Remember, if God wants you to suffer, it is better to suffer for doing good than doing wrong. Christ also suffered. He died once for the sins of all us guilty sinners, although he himself was innocent of any sin at any time, that he might bring us safely home to God. I told you all this is prophecy, right? But though his body died, his spirit lived on. And it is in that spirit or in the spirit that he visited the spirits in prison and preached to them. Spirits of those who long before in the days of Noah had refused to listen to God, though he waited patiently for them while Noah was building the ark. Yet only 8 persons were saved from drowning in the terrible flood. That, by the way, is what baptism pictures for us. In baptism, we show that we have been saved from death and doomed by the resurrection of Christ, not because our bodies are washed clean by water, but because in being baptized, we are turning to God and asking Him to cleanse our hearts from sin. And now Christ is in heaven, sitting in a place of honor next to God the Father, with all the angels and powers of heaven bound before Him and obeying Him. Since Christ suffered and underwent pain, you must have the same attitude He did. You must be ready to suffer too. For remember, when your body suffers, sin loses its powers, and you won't be spending the rest of your life chasing after evil desires, but will be anxious to do the will of God. You have had enough in the past of evil things and the godless enjoys sex, sin, lust, getting drunk, wild parties, drinking bouts, and worship of idols and other terrible sins. Of course, your former friends will be very surprised when you don't eagerly join them anymore in wicked things they do, and they will laugh at you in contempt and scorn. But just remember that they must face the judge of all, living and dead. They will be punished for the way they have lived. That is why the good news has been preached even to those who were dead, killed by the flood, so that although their bodies were punished with death, they could still live in their spirits as God lives. Listen, the end of the world is coming soon. Therefore, be earnest, thoughtful men of prayer. Most important of all, continue to show deep love for each other, for love makes up for many faults. Cheerfully share your home with those who need a meal or a place to stay for a night. God has given each of you some special abilities. Be sure to use them to help each other, passing on to the others God many kind blessings. Passing on to the others God's many kinds blessings. Are you called to preach? Then preach as though God Himself was speaking through you. Let me go back. I want to read that part again, just because it didn't come out fluently. God has given each of you some special ability. Be sure to use them to help each other, passing on to others God's many kinds of blessings. Okay. Are you called to preach? Then preach as though God Himself were speaking through you. Are you called to help others? Then do with all the strength and energy that God supplies, so that God will be glorified through Jesus Christ. To Him be the glory, power forever and ever. Amen. Now remember what I said. This is a translation. When you are born again, you will know the name of Jesus. This is just a translation. If Jesus was truly His name, everybody that has been calling on the name of Jesus would be saved. And nobody calls on the name of Jesus more than the devil and the wicked. They say the name Jesus all the time. Huh? And the reason why you must be born again, because once you are born again, the name will be revealed to you. He does not reveal Himself to everyone. That's in the word. He only reveals Himself to those who love Him. His light is only flickered through love. When you love yourself, you take care of yourself. You take care of your mind. You take care of those around you. Love activates the name. Love activates the light within your DNA to remind you that you are native to the kingdom of heaven. That you are indigenous to the kingdom of God. That you are the living word. That you were with Him before the foundations of all this man-made stuff. Anyway, let's get over here to getting over here to the holy tablet. I couldn't decide where I wanted to start, right? Where I wanted to begin, since I read all of the living soul, right? So I went to the end and then I went up through the glossary and then I said, should I start out at Melchizedek or Malachi Zedek? Should I start there? And then I only found the one piece that I needed to read. And this was it right here. So I'm going to start here at tablet 6, Zadok, Melchizedek. Lo, am I sharing? Let's make it larger. Let's make it larger. Oh, it's as large as it's going. Lo, the El Eloi, the Supreme Being, commanded all souls of creation to look at my form, and I incarnated in the form of Melchizedek. Malachi is his Zedek, Malachi Zodok. And then I incarnated in the form of Then I incarnated in the form of Yanwin. I am from Risk, the 8th planet in the 19th galaxy, Ilwin. Now, I'll read this and somebody will say, there they go, talking about strange. But if you go to NASA right now, if you go in your news, you go Google and then type in news and talk about it and type in new planet and this planet found and planets and science and all that. Everything that's in here is confirmed. Everything that's in here is confirmed. I am from Risk, the 8th planet in the 19th galaxy, Eloin. Far outside of this one, I am sent here to give you the true guidance out of your past that has become your future and has returned to warn you. I came from the planet Risk by way of Nibiru. You call it Janat. See, we say where Jesus came down, right? Where did he come down from? That's the stuff they leave up out of the Bible. We know Jesus came down, right? And we know the angels came down, but they didn't give you the exact address. They want you to believe men existed on Mars, and they show you these facts, and then they tell you we trying to get back to Mars. So you believe on aliens that are here, that are trying to get back to Mars right now, like Elon them. They're trying to get back and rejuvenate that area where they supposedly from, right? But then when you talk about Jesus and they don't give you an exact location. But when somebody came to give you the exact location, you got a problem with it. It sounds like a fairy tale. It don't sound real. But then them and their military minds and all of their military framework and all of their simulations approve this message. Huh? What are the parts of the Bible that was left out? Somebody had in a stream somewhere. I didn't click on it at all. I just saw the title. It said why Thomas was left out of the Bible, huh? Why all these different missing books of the Bible, huh? And why this one was left out and why that one was left out. I ain't trying to do too much explaining into this no more. I'm just going to keep reading. I am from Risk, the 8th planet in the 19th galaxy, Ilwin. Far outside from this one, I am sent here to give you the true guidance out of your past that has become your future and has returned to warn you. I came from the planet Risk by way of Nibiru. You call it Janat. Our solar system is within the 19th galaxy on this side of the first warp, called the black hole. We have a tri-solar system of the 19 planets and 38 moons. Some planets have moons while others don't. I come from the 8th planet of the 19th galaxy called Eluin. The planet Risk is a great planet that gives a great deal of energy, originally having two moons, but now one. Now, you see, this is I do have to say some stuff in between. Now, somebody will say, see, that type of stuff right there, don't say that, but didn't your own government just tell you? No, you don't believe me? Go type it in. That we had another moon, huh? Recently. They didn't say an asteroid. They didn't say a comet. They didn't say a satellite. They said we have another moon that's going to be out there for 30 days. That moon's still out there, y'all. Huh? Didn't they say that? They confirming this stuff right here. Now they talk about this place have other moons and that place other moons, but right here it explains that we had a moon and then one moon went away. But then your own government let you know that there's a moon that was out there recently where we didn't have two moons, but then now all of a sudden we had two moons. No? Oh. Y'all watching the wrong stuff on the news, huh? From the planet Nibiru, we can see three suns and one moon. Yanan, also spelled Yanuin, and the beings of my planet live and look much like you humans or human beings of Earth. No, you don't want to believe that. You ain't going to believe that. Nope. You're not going to believe that. You know why you're not going to believe that? Because you really, truly don't believe in the Bible. In the beginning, they created man in their image. No? So we can disregard that part of the Bible. We don't look like God. People, the whatever images that they have created in their mind, your image of God don't look like you. That's why I said to my people and people that know, I don't know what the image look like to you. You have no idea what the image of Christ and God, huh, and the beings look like to me. Because mine sure don't look like none of the pictures that I've seen growing up that has been on the walls and on these crosses and in Brazil and all that. They don't look like that. It never looked like that to me. Never. But hey, to each his own. If it looked like that to some people, that's fine. I'm just telling you, if I'm created in the image, then I'm just saying. It might have looked like that to Michael Jackson. That's why he tried to fix his image in a way that he wanted his image to look. I don't know. You can't change the light within. Well, yeah, no, you can't change that. You can't change that. Back to it. We are called Riskian or Anunnaki or just Aluhum. I am one of the teachers of the 19th galaxy. I try to raise your consciousness so that when the ships return in the lunar logging of the 12th point in August in the year 2003 of the Gregorian calendar, when the gate of the great vortex will reopen and this planet called Earth positions itself, which it has, in the location of the revolution of the planets, which are aligned out there right now. You go outside, if you ain't having cloudy, snowy storms, you can go and see the alignment, not for no 1 or 2 days. And they all are in line as in lunar logging of the 5th point in May, so the 5th of May in the year 2000 of the Gregorian calendar, you will be ready. Listen, here, right here. Here right now. The year 2000 was 2 years ago. 3 years ago when they did release that what you call it to test man right there. The reason why I could um confidentially tell you that 2003 is right now. You don't have to believe me. You could go research it for yourself. 2003, every date of 2003 aligns with 2025. And that only happens so often. It has nothing to do with leap year. Leap year happens every 4 years. But for the span of time from 2003 to so called 2025, for each day of the year to align perfectly the way it is why 2003 is 2025. Find a calendar major and go find out and ask them. Ask your phone. Do the days of 2003 align with 2025? You have psychic powers. You must use them. I was bred for you. I come from a star fleet of people that are scientists and astrologers. They are the ones who keep the Akashic, Akashic records. They keep the logs of everything that takes place in all the planets. The planet that I come from, each being lives to be 1,000 years old as Etherians and etheric beings in our perfect state. We have trillions of years at a time system beyond your comprehension at this point. You don't want to believe that. You don't believe that. You don't believe that they lived to 1,000 years, but you believe in the Bible, right? You believe that Methuselah lived those that amount of time and that long back then, right? No, you don't believe that. Okay, but you do believe that in Revelations where it said, well, a day to man is like 1,000 years to God, or all throughout the Bible, it's said a couple of times, right? Is 1,000 years to, no, you don't believe that. Oh, so you don't believe it, so we can disregard and take away that stuff in the Bible. No, you believe in the word. Okay, all right, okay, just making sure. When in our incarnated state, we each live 120 years or less. Your atmosphere created by your sun, a dying star, causes us true melanites to age and die much more rapidly because it alters our chemistry and reduces our stay. Now, we are only given so many years, right? Say 120 years or less. Why do they give people charges beyond 120 years? When they give people life sentences, why do they give them charges? Just going on if you thinking in flesh or thinking in spirit. Why do they give man beyond the 120 years, especially the innocent ones? Just a thought. I mean, when I think about the things that are going on out here right now, if God didn't release me to do what it is that I was supposed to be doing, that I'm doing right now, I would be watching all this from behind bars. Huh? I would be sitting there watching all of this with 125 years. Mm? So now when certain things and happen and occur and I'm supposed to be moved by it or get emotional, especially when it comes to family and things, the first thing comes to my mind is, well, If it was left up to you, uh, and the truth is never told, I wouldn't be out here to be going to check on you and call on you. I would still be locked up. Huh? I would still be behind bars somewhere, for 125 years. Why do they do that? Why do they give people beyond 120? Uh, Especially the holy ones. Huh? Your atmosphere created by your sun, by the sun. Your atmosphere created by your sun, a dying star, causes true melanites to age and die much more rapidly because it alters our chemistry and reduces our state. So to stay there for 1,000 years would be like staying here for a day. And our original state, we live 1,000 Earth years. We stay and then we move on to another galaxy. A whole star fleet came to Earth in ether form. The beings on my planet are human beings very similar to Earth people, except the supreme beings, the elite or Etherians, incarnated into a form. Their height is 7 feet tall. The shape of their eyes are different. They have large black pupils with the white of their eyes, and they also have other glands and organs transplanted into them. The color of their skin is green, as the greenest of olives. Now, this is with my own eyes, and that it will never change. Huh? That when I was dropped off into this flesh, I was dropped off by 3 green beings. Huh? So that's with my own eyes. It wasn't no dream. It wasn't no, and my grandmother was awake to tell me to hush that fuss. I was crying. I didn't want them to go. And I kept telling that story in elementary until they said, yes, we got to keep an eye on that one. uh, they sent me to the research development school of elementary school of Dade County. Brad Pitt spent one elementary school year there. You don't have to believe me. His grandmother, Miss Pitt, was in charge of the cafeteria. You don't have to believe me. Madonna spent one little year there. She was a 6th grader. All these high-end people came through Sunset Elementary. I'm not making it up. I'm not making it up, y'all. Uh, Anyways, back to it. Back to it. That's where they sent all the children that they needed to keep an eye on. We had a special bus come pick it. It wasn't no little short bus. But everybody that was in the community, they went to the local community school, Tucker, Coconut Grove Elementary, and there was a handful of us that they transported to Sunset Elementary to be under the investigation of one of the Bushes. And he was the only person in the school that I ain't never seen and don't remember. But it's sure on them paperworks in the White House and stuff. Anyways, back to it, because this ain't about me. This ain't about me. It's just about my confirmation. That's all. I'm just a confirmation. That's it. Nothing. It's a confirmation. And then it'll be phew, making them able to adjust any planet's atmosphere except those with dying stars. They are called the Eloys, And as a group, they are referred to as Anunnaki. They have 9 ether. When traveling, we can incarnate to look like any beings or creatures we choose. When traveling, we can incarnate to look like any beings or creatures we choose, as long as we do some brain adjustment and organ adjustments. Then become as Ela Mutajasida or Eloi incarnated into flesh Ela. It is when a person is born that an Ela Matujisad incarnates into them. As the person grows and matures, the spirit within him dominates his body unless the person suppresses it. Although we act and move as any other human, our eyes embody completely mastery of the transcending of the physical world. One of the reasons we come to earth is because man begins to lean towards corruption. And the negative karma we call kudri or aura of the earth begins to dominate. The negativeness in the total living organism, which we are all a part of, different uh, densities, yet in the quantum state affects us all. Therefore, when you think of angels, it is us who you think of, and your call is being answered. Your prayers are heard. So we descend to earth and have become flesh and body like man in order to help man. The disagreeable Hindu avatar that came down here, where the 200 fallen angels and the Hindus are descendants of them. Modi is the boss, huh? Ooh, no? Okay. Well, whatever he doing and why he's sending diamonds to Jill while uh what's his name, Joseph Azazel making threats talking about you goddamned people and I done what no man can do. How is you falling for Modi? I'm Azazel, huh? Modi got that big old coffin. That big old coffin, y'all. Anyways, looking human in all respect, yet with slight variations, and each being only lives for 20 to 100 years in physical form. You would not be able to tell the difference between any other human being on earth. In the etheric form of light, you call us spirits, and the supreme beings you refer to. Uh, you refer to, let's go back up, as Holy Spirits are Holy Ghosts, because we know the formula of the chemistry of the body. We know how to alter molecules and dematerialize through magnetism and tetrahedron science matters at will. By using magnetism, we use the parts of the human brain that are not being used and live in parts of their cells that they don't use as of yet. We can incarnate into anybody we want at any given time. This is how it is done on behalf of myself, he said. And then I saw a little dark copper tone baby. I went into his body and he became son of justice, also called Rabboni Yashua Ba El Haida. I visited the planet Earth 3 times. Let me explain where the word Earth comes from, because this planet has had many names depending on who is speaking about it and from which galaxy. One of the oldest names used referring to Earth as Tiamat. Later, it was called Ki. And finally, it was called Irudu. Iridu Q, a home away from home by a race of supreme beings called Anunnaki, Alum, Alahum, Alum, who came here to Earth originally from the sole purpose of mining over 7,050 years ago, their crafts called ziggurats, consisting of 7 stages sloping upward into a pyramid form 300 feet in height, or the crown shaped shams. They crashed down into the Arabian Sea on the southern tip of what is called Iraq today and named that spot Irdu. There to eliminate the birth of any supreme being by an injection with hypodermic needle into the base of the brain with a drug called PCP, phenyl called angel dust, that which could reduce an angelic being to mere dust, injected into the hippocampus area in order to deaden the barotheric gland. In order to prevent this, the child must be born 12 midnight in the midst of lightning storm as a shield. And this is why his mother and relatives cited the presence of the great star on that Tuesday, 12 midnight, in the lunar logging of the 26th point in June, when the planet called Earth positioned itself in a location of the revolution Earth year 1945 of the Gregorian calendar, based on a true story. The weather filled with overcast of clouds and rain, a perfect cover for a mission. We did not reinsert it into the hippocampus part of the brain this time, but the lower part of the chin, referred to as the submental area, meaning the sub or lower and mental, which reacts with the mind. There is no need for a replacement of an appendix because the appendix was there and would not be removed, nor his tonsils, as in case of others. We would have to replace their barotheric gland in the submental area. The lower part of the chin, if the tonsils are removed to replace them, and if their appendix is removed, replace them and reactivate them. Unlike the case of this child, then the child was right to make way for my entrance. I visited again after the lunar logging of the 6th point in August, when the planet called Earth positioned itself in a location of the revolution of Earth, year 1945 of the Gregorian calendar, when you bombed Hiroshima, Japan. And in the lunar logging of the 19th point in August, when the planet called Earth positioned itself, the location of the revolution of Earth, year 1945 of the Gregorian calendar, when you bombed Nagasaki, Japan. It became apparent that the beings of Earth were on a path of self destruction, playing with atomic power. So I arrived in the lunar logging of the 17th point in September of the same year to a galactical meeting held on Earth. Ooh, 17 of September. Now I'm going to stop for a second. Let me look that up and see a confirmation on that. This is for, um, let's go back. Oh no, if I do that, it might, wait a minute. Okay, September, give me a moment. 17th in history. Oh my goodness. That's the U.S. Constitution meeting in Philadelphia. That happened on September 17th. It says here 11, 11, 11, highest Galatian nobility led by Pedro, king of something, Diego. So it's a bunch of stuff happened but I'm looking for a particular meeting. So they had the meeting at the Constitution for the Constitution of the United States, September 17th. George Bush has a meeting in regards to September 11th attacks. Uh, the Camp David Accords that happened in 1978. That was a meeting. It was signed by Israel and Egypt. Oh, the space shuttle is unveiled in 1976. That ain't a meeting, but that happened. So 1976, no, 1978, the Camp David Accords are signed by Israel and Egypt. And I just saw something the other day about Camp David had to do with what's his face? Uh Jimmy Carter. Okay, I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna leave that alone. By the power of Grayskull, huh? let me let me go on. Let me continue. Let me continue. Let me continue. Okay, so that meeting, that's why they'll hold that flag half staff with him and all this stuff. January 9th. Okay, September 17th. Camp David Accord, Israel and Egypt. All right, let me keep reading. Let me keep reading. Let me keep reading because I'll go down that whole. Okay, where was I? Okay, back to it. August. So I arrived in the lunar logging of the 17th point in September of that same year to a galactical meeting held on Earth. Now, when we're looking at years here on the paperwork, I'm also taking an account of the years. Wait a minute, because it said the same year. That was 1945. So let's go to September 17th, 1945. Oh, that was a secretly held meeting if it was 1945, unless it was just the same way that this 2003 is 2025, according to um, calendar dates and changes. All right. Again, let me go back. It's where my brain trying to do two, three things at one time. Get back to it. And on a child's 25th birthday, which was in the lunar logging of the 26th point in June, when the planet called Earth positioned itself in the location of the revolution of Earth year 1970 of the Gregorian calendar. When I made direct contact and implanted my total self in his being, and this special day is commemorated by a great event for our Savior. On this great day, lectures of all kinds are being presented, and excellent speakers brought forth to lecture on the different topics in different languages as ambassadors, and great knowledge that our Supreme Grandmaster has embarked upon us. People from all over gather to this big event to celebrate the birth of our master teacher, for this is a great day for all Nawapians of all races. Sport tournaments, all kinds of foods from around the world, and different types of cultural music. It is a great family gathering, and we thank the Most High for allowing us to be blessed with such a great teacher. Different stories are being told about his truth and the birth of the tabernacle and the many metamorphoses of it. People come dressed in their native clothing as well as Egyptian, African, Islamic, Sumerian garments, and different events and performances are taking place. We have a carnival and a parade. We have procession of Usir Osiris, which is led by our master teacher and followed by the Brotherhood of Set, as well as a procession of Aset Isis, led by the three high priestess of the order of the Sister of Aset, and our sacred order, the ancient and mystic order of Melchizedek, have sacred ceremony as well. We celebrate a drum ceremony event where the men beat drums all night from 12 p.m. until the next morning to make the new year in our calendar, and much, much more. Throughout the 400-year enslavement of Nuwapians, the Western Hemisphere, and even throughout Europe, there was a hope, a longing for a savior, one who could answer the many questions. The first being, why are we rejected and hated by all? What have we done to deserve the persecution and the murder and derogatory terms? Why are we allowed to be hung, beaten, experimented on, and treated like animals? Why did nobody in the free world try to come to our aid? Why, wait, we were deprived of proper education and then called dumb and stupid. We were deprived of proper work and we were not allowed to establish our own income, and we were called lazy and shiftless. We are introduced to narcotics and alcohol, and then we are called drug addicts. We were left with no means of support, cornered into alternative methods of survival, then we are called criminals. Some of us are cast into prison. There again, we were abused. We were not given fair trials, couldn't afford proper representation. We were abducted into the armed forces or volunteered to defend the country in which we found ourselves dead on the battlefield or came home where we were called nigger. Through all of this, the only thing that remained for us was hope. we are on they are on their last hope, and we are the last hope. With the hope that we were poisoned by superstitions, mythology, and just plain ignorance, never being taught who we really were and where we came from. We were told to become Christians. It's our only means of salvation. They hung a Caucasian on the cross in front of us and told us this was God's son. In our minds, that meant that his father was also a Caucasian. His mother Mary, called Blessed Mother Mary, was also Caucasian, and all angels are Caucasians. And if God was Caucasian, and Caucasians pride themselves on being called white, and bad is black, it's opposite. Thus, the devil is black. We had to endure this harsh treatment. We had to endure the many names we were being called, and was expected always to keep a smile. Finally, in the 20th century, things began to happen. Men were being born who had small pieces to a big puzzle. None of them knew that they were part of a master plan where all the pieces of the puzzle, I was talking about the puzzle yesterday, would fit in starting from 1970 AD. Before the date, Nawabians found themselves in all kinds of organizations. Some were docile, like many of your Christian and Orthodox Muslim groups, Prince Hall Masons, and even Black Shriners and the Elks. Others were militant, like the Black Panthers, the Young Lords, the African Pioneer Movement, the Black Muslims, the Five Percenters, the Hebrew Israelites, and the Black Nationalists. With these groups came many who would be messiahs, prophets, mahdis, saviors, leaders, and even some call themselves God, Allah, and Allah. We had all kinds of ministers, pastors, reverends, rabbis, Cohens, imams, sheikhs, sheikhs, Yet our conditions stayed the same. We may appear to be doing good under specific leader, but in all cases, all of the above were dependent on others for guidance and borrowing from each other. Either they used the Caucasian King James Version of the Bible or the Jewish translation of the Holy Scripture, or Pale Arab's translation of the Quran, or Zionist Jew named Levi H. Dowland's book in the Aquarian Gospel and changed it into the Quran for a more science temple. Others depended on what they call Pale Arab interpretation of Islam, or from lessons that W.F. Muhammad wrote, and from it in a Nawabian gave birth to a splinter group called Five Percenters, and he declared himself Allah using this pale Arab lessons. This was Clarence 13th X. All in all, Nawapians fell deeper and deeper into ignorance. It was a case of the blind leading the blind. Let's see, said the blind man. But all knew that a savior was coming. Some thought it was Marcus Garvey, who wanted to go back to Africa. Others thought it was Noble Drew Ali. Others thought it was Honorable Elijah Muhammad or his teacher, W.F. Muhammad. Others thought it was Clarence 13th X, and others even thought it was Dr. Martin Luther King. Some said it was H. Rap Brown or Stokely Carmichael from the 60s, or Eldridge Cleaver or Bobby Seale. Some thought it was Ron Carringa. I don't know who that is, or Leroy Jones. Some think it's Warith D. Muhammad, some Elijah Muhammad. Others think it's Louis Farrakhan or Yahweh Ben Yahweh or Ben Ami Carter. And even others think it is themselves. And the list of Savior goes on. From the early 1900s all the way to 1975, when something new happened, a teaching unlike before started spreading. It started with the awareness of our culture and identity and awakening all around the globe with the only barriers of language and religion. There was a wave of riots everywhere, which only added to the tension. And the formation of organizations like Black Panthers, founded by Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seale, for never-ending struggle for liberation of Nuwapians. This made way for the first part of our liberation by way of Nuwapu. What I have to give would liberate the mind of Nuwapian nation, and the physical will follow. Because once there is mental unity, there is physical unity. Because where the mind goes, the body will follow. This too was part of the preparation for my appearance. Others, like Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Martin Luther King, were concerned with the upliftment and sense of pride of Nawapian people and the beginnings of a doctrine, not knowing who we were or where we came from or where we're going. The time was now. Right truth has come to put all false things under your feet, with a doctrine to give you the power to test all who stand in front of you, and dates to claim they have the truth. I am here amongst you to take you by the hand and lead you to that which was promised to you. You should feel a comfort in being with me. I truly know the way out of hell you Nawapians have been in for over 6,000 years. How to break the spell. For all who will listen, it was through right knowledge, right wisdom, and right understanding, which is the science of Nuwapu. Don't turn away from your last chance of salvation. This book that will solve the problem book. I say, test me, and you will see who I really am. Ask, and it shall be given. Seek, and you shall find. Knock, and the door shall be open. Simply ask. Ask, seek, knock, merely for I am your long awaited Savior. It is my voice that roars with the sound of many waters saying these things. I say unto you who are faithful and true, I am Melchizedek of all holy prophets. Allah has sent me to give good tidings, to prepare the way for HaMashiach, or El Masu, the real Messiah. He's made way for the real Messiah, huh? That's what he said. You didn't hear it? Huh? This is based on a true story. I'm going to come back tomorrow and finish based on a true story. If you here with me today, do you remember where I'm coming from? Tablet 6, 200, huh? We want to put down the page. Should I write down the page? Because you ain't going to remember the page. 1650. Let's put down 1650. 1650. I want to end it right there, huh? Made way. Made way. Y'all gonna find out. You must be born again. You must be born again to find out, huh? Greater light, greater light. I appreciate you here listening, but don't just be here and listen. Take and find and do the research for yourself. It ain't even no researching, huh? Just search and you'll get the answer, huh? And the answer is within. And there's a light code that unlock in your DNA that will remind you of who you are. Don't believe me? Go check out the sources for yourself. Everything in this book right here, it's confirmation to all the books all over the land, huh? And all the things in the news and everything in their federal registered documents that say they want to lock you in, and fence you in. But Trump, y'all ain't heard Trump saying nothing about a wall no more. You know why? Because they ready to fence you in, huh? Greater light. All right, Judith of Nazareth, legendary power bottom, Leonardo de Yuda, and you, Mad Catter, huh? Mad Catter, I love you too. I always see your flowers. Thank you, Mad Catter. You've been around for a long time in the flower, the flower. What do you call it? In the flower bed. I don't want to say in the woods or in the bushes. You've been in the flower bed. And there's this Samaya or Semia mental health. Greater light. And anybody else who came by, that is the holy tablets, confirmation of all divine scripture all over the world, where they have them hid and locked in the Vatican, where they have them hid up under the White House. And then their tablets. Their tablets they call that their tablets. The Federal Register. You can go to federalregister.gov and confirm anything that they say they're going to do. They're going to do it. If they're going to fatten up the cows with more estrogen, they put it there. If they're going to create more things to activate the diabetes and all these other things that people can constantly trying to find remedies for and can't, but you're eating the different foods that they pumping up with stuff because you can't grow it yourself. It's in the Federal Register. If they're going to flood out somewhere, it's in the Federal Register. Snowstorms, it's already in the Federal Register before the storm even hit, because the spiritual wickedness in high places have learned how to adjust certain things, just like they're going to go ahead and blacken out the sun for a few days. They've already sent up their satellites to do that. That's in their plans, whether they're going to use a satellite, whatever it is. They got it written in the Federal Register, times and dates that they're going to block out the sun. And the Bible and different scriptures confirm that it's going to happen. The Bible never said it would be a natural event. It said in these days when all this stuff happened, they're going to black out the sun, and they are looking at blacking out the sun for about 6 hours each time that they do it. And they have these two things out there right now, 1,200 pounds each, that is circling and orbiting the earth to be ready to synchronize to do the, and the reason why they have two is based on the two sets. The two sets of sunrise and sunset, and how the earth revolves. But because the earth has shifted and all that, I can't go into any more than that. You have to go check it out for yourself. It's happening. Be ready, be aware, wake up. Don't get trapped up in the geofence. Greater light.
living, but the righteous shall see God. Gotta live holy, gotta live right. If you wanna meet Jesus in the aisle, get right, church, and let's go home. I'm going home. God is on the way. Ooh, 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 ooh. I'm going home. God is on the way. I'm going home. I'm going home. I'm going home. God is on the way.
You better get right.
Get right, church, and let's go home. Get right, church, and let's go home. Get right, church. Get right, church. Get right, church, and let's go home. Stoic behaviors, forward reverse, chemistry savior, unique verse, Archimedes, of the covenant, angels, angel of non-compete covenants, archaic cave wars, dogma, golf course, TNZ on, my God, horrors, my God, next doors, my God, now God doors. Oh, you accusers, one wants an iron door, you accuser, one wants to buy and clone. I wanna be ready, I got to be ready. Get right, church, and let's go home.
You better get right.
He's coming, he's coming, he's coming, let's go home. He's coming, he's coming, he's coming, let's go home.
You coming? Let's crawl.
Your coming is beautiful in the horizon of heaven. Glory to glory to glory to glory. Ooh, ooh, living you the beginning of life and the living. Glory to glory to glory, glory me. Oh no, yeah, oh no way. All powerful, all power. Glory be to our God. Ooh, everlasting, redeemer, Savior, glory be to our God. Your coming is beautiful in the horizon of heaven. Glory to glory to glory to glory be. Ooh, ooh, living you the beginning of life and the living. Glory to glory to glory, glory me. Holy One, King of Kings, on your throne. Lord of Lords, glory be to our God. Ooh,
Prince of Peace, beginning G and then I'll go in life. The great I am, the great I.
ooh.